Hi, and welcome to this lab on calorimetry, which is really just a fancy way of saying how much energy is there in the food that we eat. So in this lab, we'll be bringing together a number of key skills that you have been developing in earlier labs. So for example, identifying independent and dependent variables or causes and effects, using those variables to create a hypothesis, collating, analysing and then presenting that data. Okay? So I'll be going through this lab quite quickly, and it'll be upon you to actually bring those skills into whichever segment of the lab is required. Rightio, so the equipment that you'll need, you can see in front of you. So we will be using a Bunsen burner. We have our BOM calorimeter. Now, in the real world, this is actually a fancy machine. However, in the high school lab, this is what a BOM calorimeter pretty much looks like. Now, there's going to be a lot of error when we conduct this experiment, but that's okay, because that's going to be something that you can talk about with your students in the discussion section of the report. So let's get started. So what we have here is our BOM calorimeter. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be burning food, and burning releases the energy in that food. We'll be transferring that heat from inside the chip into this amount of water here. And so the way that we're going to measure the amount of energy within the food that we're going to burn in a moment is by measuring the temperature difference. We're going to be measuring the temperature before we start adding the heat to our vessel, and then we're going to be measuring the heat again after. We're going to be doing that for the 3 types of chips, and the amount of temperature change is going to be indicative of the amount of energy which is in each of these foods. So let's go ahead and quickly set things up. So the first step is to actually light our Bunsen burner. So safety gear, always. We check the equipment to make sure that it is not faulty. We ensure that the air hole is closed, the sleeve at the bottom of our Bunsen burner. So go ahead, grab your match, light the match, and then go ahead and light the Bunsen burner. Remember, we always come to a safety flame. When we go to heat anything, we then switch to the heating flame, which we'll see in a moment. So, with your trusty tongs, go ahead, grab the piece of food that you're going to heat. Okay? So, what we want to do is just heat the food, or start burning the food, so that it catches light. Okay? So we don't want to completely toast the food. So once it catches light like that, so then we bring it over here, and then we transfer that heat to our beaker, just like that. Okay? Now you can see that I've actually got quite a good flame there. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off my Bunsen burner and just turn off my Bunsen burner and just save some energy. Because now that that chip has caught a light, I can actually just keep it there. Now, if your chip does ever go out, then you just relight it and bring it back here. Okay? Now, I'm going to put that out. Okay? But once you have absolutely burnt that chip to a crisp, yes, it's going to be nice and smoky in the room, yes, you're going to get some soot on the bottom of your beaker, but what we do is we burn that chip all the way until it's completely crumbled. We measure the final temperature, and then that's how we're going to measure the temperature difference. So, as a class, what you're going to do is you're actually going to decide as a class the independent variable that you're going to measure. The dependent variable that you're going to measure is the temperature change of the water. And then you're going to create an appropriate graph, whether that's a line graph or a bar graph or a pie chart. That decision is up to you. Excellent. All the best with the lab. Thank you very much.